What is up, everyone? I am BisharpBrawler and you are watching the team analysis video for my own team, the Hague Haxorus. And my team is an interesting team. It is built up of 3 different cores, which each consists of 3 Pokemon, with 4 supportive Pokemon. I call them supportive, they're not necessarily supportive, but they are not part of a core. I know that sounds weird because I only have 12 Pokemon and that adds up to 13. But it'll become clearer once I actually get to all of my cores. So how about we do that, right? The first core that I drafted was Skarbliss with Ditto Sport. Because my first pick was Ditto. And when I picked Ditto, everyone was like, why in the world are you drafting Ditto? First round. Like, Ditto, we all knew Ditto was a good Pokemon, but no one was really like, why the hell would you do this? Like, everyone figured, why first round? Well, the reason was I felt like Ditto was the most contested Pokemon in my team, on the team that I had planned. I got all 12 of these Pokemon I had planned beforehand. I knew what I wanted for the most part. There are 2 Pokemon that I decided to draft during the draft, but most of this had been decided beforehand. And Ditto was a big part of my team because I really liked the Skarbliss core, and I knew I was going to wanted to draft it, and I did get it in the end. And Skarbliss, as we all know, Skarmory is crazy physically defensive, Blissey is crazy specially defensive. They have great type synergy, but Blissey is really heavy setup bait, and that can potentially be a problem. Yes, Skarmory can Whirlwind, but if something is setting up on the special side, Blissey can't exactly do anything to stop it from setting up. And Skarmory can't come in because it's a special attacker and it's just going to get 2-shot and then can Whirlwind and stuff like that. It would have gotten really, really nasty. Ditto is the solution for that. Because you can't set up when I have a Ditto. You can't. It's not happening. Because I will steal your setup and I will win the game. And you know it's going to happen. So don't bother setting up, buddy. Don't even bother. I really don't think you're going to be able to break through everything if I have Ditto. And that's why I banked with it, first pick. People didn't even realize that after I picked up my Skarbliss core, I have had plenty of conversation with the other coaches, of course. And it took them really long to realize that they could not set up on Blissey because I had a Ditto. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, because maybe they would have done it as well anyway, and then I would have come in and stolen something like an SD'd up Bisharp or something and just swept. But I mean, I don't care. I'm gonna have so much fun using Ditto, and it's such a good Pokemon. I really think it's underestimated and probably shouldn't even be PU anymore, but whatever. Yeah, that's pretty much the core of Skarbliss Ditto. It is incredibly bulky, cannot be set up on, that's the entire thing. Skarmory is also, of course, a great rock setter and defogger. And for that and fits by the team. It's just really good Pokemon in my opinion. Great tier 1 pick, at least to me. And Blissey comes from UU now. It used to be OU, but it went down to UU, which is really nice for me because it's cheaper. So that felt pretty good. I got it for free, and or not for free, I got it for 120 points on my free picks, because it was not actually the first tier 2 Pokemon that I drafted. I'll be talking about that in a little bit. It was the second one. It's just really good in my opinion, and it's going to be putting in a lot of work in that core. Now, as you can see, both Donphan was drafted before Blissey, because it's right here, it was my tier 2 pick, and Latios was drafted before Blissey because it is my first free pick. Why did I draft those before Blissey? Well, one, as far as I could tell during the draft, no one was gonna need a Blissey. Not a single team felt like, okay, this team is definitely gonna be drafting Blissey. Not a single team. So I felt like I can wait. I can keep waiting. Chansey is also still a thing. If I need to, I'll draft Chansey and just figure something out with the rest of my draft. But I will wait. And I did. I waited out a long time. I didn't pick it up until, I believe, round 5, even though it was one of the most important Pokemon for my team. Because I picked up Latios and Donphan earlier. Latios has amazing type synergy with Skarbliss, as the only things that are going to be able to break through Skarbliss are things that hit from both the physical and the special side. Now, there are certain mixed Pokemon, don't get me wrong, those are not the Pokemon Latios is going to help me with. But but Size Shockers and Secret Sword users are going to be what Latios helps against, because it resists both of those, and it can hit pretty hard back as well. Psychic types with Size Shocker are not going to like taking a Shadow Ball or potentially Draco, and fighting types are not going to be able to beat Latios at all, or, well, I guess only Keldeo, because Secret Sword's only Keldeo, because of Size Shock. It's just going to hurt its crap ton. Latios fits in that core really well. It's not necessarily a part of it, because it's easily brought outside of the core, as just a wall breaker, Calm Mind Sweeper, Defogger, whatever. It has a great offensive presence, and I'm really excited to see it put in all of the work. Now, the other Pokemon I drafted before Blissey was the Donphan. I wanted Donphan because with Skarmory, I have two great users of Stealth Rock, but only one Hazard Remover, and that's Skarmory, and that is a Defogger. That means that the one way for me to get rid of rocks, or I guess I had Latios as well, which is also Defogger. The only way for me to get rid of rocks was to get rid of my opponent's rocks on the opponent's side as well. I wanted a spinner. I really, really wanted a spinner, because I wanted to keep up those rocks for myself. And that's what Donphan is here for. It needs to spin. That's the reason I needed this thing. I just wanted to be able to spin away. And that's always useful, not just in Skarmory, that's always useful. And my team isn't hurting too badly from Stealth Rocks, I guess, but it still doesn't like it, of course. And being able to remove those is just really, really nice. Plus, it can set them up themselves as well. It has sturdy Gust Step, potentially, access to Explosion, Knockoff, EQ, whatever. It's just a good Pokemon in general, in my opinion, and can definitely put in a ton of work. But once I've drafted my Skarmory core, my Ditto, and my Donphan, my Latios, and everything, I went on to my next core. The first pick for that core was Politoed, because I'm going with Rain this time around. Politoed is a very good Pokemon in my opinion. Its Scald hits quite hard, thanks to the Rain boost and the Stab boost, and the ability to burn anything is really nice. And keep in mind, we're playing on Oras, so the burn nerf hasn't happened yet, which makes its Pokemon all the more threatening. It has extra rest, and really, in order to set up the Rain, you don't need to be awake. So just resting up is fine. It really doesn't matter. Plus, I have Heal Bell and Blissey, which can make wake it up again. And in general, it's just a nice bulky Pokemon that can potentially wall quite a bit of things. And the second Pokemon of the Rain core is my Swift Swim Sweeper, Swampert. Or Mega Swampert, of course. The Mega buff from Sun and Moon hasn't happened yet, but nevertheless, Mega Swampert is amazing. This thing hits stupid hard with a Rain Boosted Waterfall or an EQ, has a great attack stat, and with Swift Swim it will outspeed a lot of things. A ton. Like, barely anything's gonna be able to outspeed this thing once in the rain. Only certain Scarfers will be able to. And that's just a nice tool, a really, really nice tool to have. I can relatively easily predict if my opponent is gonna bring a Scarfer faster than Swift Swim and a Swampert, and I can prepare for it. And that's honestly really, really nice. Mega Swampert is crazy powerful, of course, really fast. I just really like this thing as Swift and Super. I think it's one of the best. People might say that Kingdra's better, but really, I don't think so. Mega Swampert has higher offensive stats, higher defensive stats. It only has a lower speed, I believe. So I think it's very, very good. And I hope people underestimate Rain, because normally when you bring Rain in a draft league, people bring Sunny Day once, and yeah, you're screwed. But I will also have a Sun core, as you can see on the screen, with Ninetales and Leafeon. So, yeah. That's a risk. Because if Ninetales or Leafeon comes in on the Sun, you're not going to enjoy that. And then, like, if you have Sunny Day to counter the Rain, you're also going to want to have Rain Dance to counter the Sun. And it's just kind of awkward. So that's why I went with this. Swampert is a very powerful Pokemon. And the third Pokemon of this core is Heliolisk. It's also the third Pokemon of the Sun Core, so I'm going to talk about Sun Core real quick first. Ninetales is my Sunsetter, which is a much, much more offensive Pokemon than Politoed. It's capable of setting up itself with Nasty Plot. It has great special attacks anyway, nice special defense set as well. Can really, really hurt with Drought Boosted Fire Blast, and you need to be careful of this thing. Don't underestimate this. All 12 of my Pokemon are threats, and don't underestimate any of them. Every single one of my Pokemon can be a legitimate threat to certain teams. And that is what I went for this time. Ninetales can potentially just win if it gets up one or two nasty plots and just decimate a team. And Leafeon is very similar. If it gets up a Swords Dance and the Sun is still up for long enough, it can potentially just sweep a team. With high physical bulk, it's relatively easy to get set up as well. And that is really awesome. It also gets synthesis if it needs to heal itself up, and it doesn't really need extra coverage. It's just a good Pokemon. I'm really excited to use Leafeon as well, as it's my favorite evolution. So yeah, I really like Leafeon. Let's go. And now we talk about Heliolisk. Why is Heliolisk the final Pokemon for both my Rain and my Sun cores? Because that's weird. How is a Pokemon both good in the Sun and in the Rain? Heliolisk is the one Pokemon that is. The only Pokemon in the game, as far as I know, that is good in both Rain and Sun. I guess Volcanion, but not really. Heliolisk is better in both weathers, I think. Heliolisk has because Heliolisk has the abilities Dry Skin, which helps in the Rain as an electric type, it has Thunder. And Solar Power, which is insane, which makes it Thunderbolts hit so hard. It does whittle it down very quickly, but keep in mind, if I come in with if I get Heliolisk in on a free switch, maybe I could kill something, and I Volt Switch out, I do not take Solar Power damage. Because it happens at the end of the turn, and Heliolisk is no longer on the field at the end of the turn if I Volt Switch out. I can play around with that. That is probably going to be my best way of dealing with the Solar Power damage. But I also have Blissey to heal myself up. So I think Heliolisk will be doing a lot of work. Of course, it's also just a fast electric type, which is always useful. And it is just a very good Pokemon in both weathers. If you let me set up the weather and I have a Heliolisk, you might be in some trouble. Because it is a powerful wall breaker. Don't underestimate it. And that is it for Heliolisk. I have 2 more Pokemon to talk about. They are my final 2 supportive Pokemon. And first off is my Drapion. Drapion is a interesting Pokemon. This was originally drafted just for one certain matchup, but now that I've thought more about my team and about his team, or her team, I'm not entirely sure, I assume it's his, Drapion is capable of putting in a ton of work. Wait, where am I going with this? What do I say? Okay, never mind. Let's forget it. I've thought more about his team, and I'm probably not going to bring Drapion against him. But Drapion is a very powerful Pokemon nonetheless. With a potential Sword Stand Sweep, access to Toxic Spikes, it is quite versatile as well. I like it, especially like Toxic Spikes in combination with a Skarm Blizzcore, because I can stall out for so long, I might be able to just wear down people through that hazard. And that's really nice. Plus, if you remove Toxic Spikes, I don't really care, because a few of your Pokemon are gonna have been toxic already, because I'm not gonna immediately let it go into your spinner. Don't worry about that, man. I'm not that stupid. And that's really nice. I think Toxic Spikes is a really underrated hazard. It's one of the best. I believe Drapion also gets regular spikes, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me. And honestly, that's about it for Drapion. It has a really good typing as well, but, right, Drapion is really interesting. I don't necessarily know for sure how I'm going to use it yet, but it's quite versatile. It's quite good. I like it. And the one matchup I was thinking about bringing Drapion for, I ended up drafting Bouffalant for. Bouffalant is really weird. I'm bringing him only once, most likely this season. He's coming once. And he's going to do really well in that one matchup and then never again. Because Choice Banded Head Charge is insanely powerful, but if people expect it, it's really easy to play around. There's one matchup in which I feel like I can utilize it very well, but that's about it. And I'm obviously not going to say what matchup that is, but it's still nice to mention that it's only one matchup. Apart from that, Bouffalant has a nice ability in Sap Sipper, which synergizes well with Mega Swampert, so if I feel like I need some good grass switching, I can always do that. And it has a decent Assault Vest set, it can Pursue Trap, I guess, but I have Drapion for that, so yeah. I think Choice Banded Head Charge is pretty much the way to go with this Pokemon. And it hits hard. Very hard. I did the calc. And this is not actually going to spoil who I'm bringing it against. Because I know it 2-hit KOs Suicune. 2-hit KOing Suicune is awesome. Now, Suicune has been drafted. But don't necessarily conclude out of that I'm bringing it against Suicune. Because I have done a ton of calcs already. That was just one of the most impressive calcs that I remember. Out of Bouffalant. Choice Banded Head Charge 2 with KOing Suicune was awesome. But that's about it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this team analysis. I hope it did well. I hope I explained all my picks well. And I think that's about it. This team is pretty defensive. I'm excited to use it. But for now, I'm out. Peace.